community. My name is Pam and thanks for tuning into this channel. If you are new here, guys, welcome. Today, you guys, we're going to talk about coffee. That's right, coffee. I am a lover of coffee. I literally can drink coffee, you guys, pretty much throughout the course of the day. Now, I used to drink caffeinated coffee, but I've switched over to decaf just to kind of keep an eye on my health because of, I guess, the issues that caffeine can do to your body. But never mind that portion of it. Since I am a coffee lover, I just thought it would be fitting for me to cover a few things about the coffee plant. And I have one in my collection and I just want to share with you guys here. So take a look at this thing. Has some height to it and still pretty lush and kind of tall. So since I do love coffee so much, and I hope you guys out there, I'm quite sure it's hundreds if not even thousands of coffee lovers, and I just thought it'd be a real kick to pay homage to the actual coffee plant. So just to give you some background real quick, this plant, the botanical name is Coffea arabica, and this plant is from the genus of Rubiaceae. Rubia. It's hard to pronounce these words sometimes, you guys. Bear with me. Rubiaceae family. I'm actually going to put the title down below because I know I can butcher words from time to time. Now, this plant, you guys, of course, you know it can grow outdoors, but indoors, it can reach the height of 6 feet tall. And of course, outdoors, it could be even taller than that. But I wanted to share with you guys my care tips, so let's just jump right into it. Let's start first off with the light. You guys, I actually have, because I make my coffee in the kitchen with my Keurig, I just thought it would be just best to have this plant actually in my kitchen. And when I first brought this plant, you guys, I had it sitting actually in my windowsill in my kitchen, so it was getting a lot of light, which was what really encouraged this pretty much growth right here. This plant does prefer bright indirect light, but no direct light. You want to stay away from that. Now, as far as the watering situation, this is one of thirsty, water-loving plants, so to speak. So it likes to stay moist, but not wet. So I typically water this plant, you guys, when the soil is 1 inch dry. Maybe sometimes in some cases less than that because of the potting medium that it's in, but I'm about to go right into the soil. Now, the soil, you guys, it does prefer a very aerated soil. Now, I have not, when I brought it, it was in this, I guess it's a 5-inch pot, if I had to judge it off of look, a 5-inch pot. I have not repotted it since I've brought it. And the potting medium that's actually in this planter is actually basic potting soil, and it looks to be like it has a lot of orchid bark in here. So when I do repot it, you guys, I am going to try my best to mimic the soil that is actually in, so that I don't shock it. And since I've had it for a few months now, probably almost a year, I'm not sure, I can't remember. It's been growing well in the soil medium that it's in, and I've been able to manage and maintain the watering situation, so I don't really want to change it too much. If anything, when I do repot it, I do plan on using some regular potting soil, and my go-to soil, you guys, has been, what is it? Can't even think. Let me see if I got... Me and these names, you guys, it's just always, when I talk to you guys from time to time, I draw a brain freeze. It's amazing. But Miracle Grow. I use Miracle Grow planting soil, and I've just started recently using gold something or another. I can't remember the name. But my go-to is Miracle Grow. And I will use also the Perlite Miracle Grow type and mix it. And then from time to time I do use orchid bark. So when I do plan on repotting this, and I don't really plan on repotting this plant for probably another year, you guys, to be honest with you, unless I see it significantly root bound, but I'm not seeing any signs of that right now. Any form of, let me actually take a look. There's forms of a little bit of roots coming out at the bottom, but I just don't feel that this plant is nowhere near root bound, so I don't plan on repotting it no time soon. And more than likely, if I do decide to repot it, I'm going to do it the next growing season. And I'll probably use, like I said, the Miracle Grow potting soil, some perlite, and some orchid bark. Now, as far as the fertilizer, I do fertilize my plants, especially in the growing season, by a quarter of strength of per gallon of water. Fertilize my plants every time I water it in the growing season. But I also use a well balanced fertilizer. So I use Jack's Classic fertilizer, the well balanced one, which is the 2020. But this plant, you guys, could benefit a lot with having more nitrogen. So you could have higher nitrogen. So you could have a fertilizer such as 30-10-10. Now, since we are on the subject of fertilizer, just want to share a quick tip for those of you that may not even understand exactly what those numbers represent in the fertilizer world. There's three numbers that you usually see. It'd be whether it's 30-10-10, 20-20-20, 10-10-10. It ranges depending on what you're looking for. But the first number, you guys, represents the nitrogen. Nitrogen helps with the plant growth as well as the color of your plants. The second number typically refers to the phosphorus, and this helps improve your root growth of your plant. And then the third number represents potassium, and this is just more or less just controlling the overall health of your plant. So since this plant would really thrive if it had more of a higher boost of nitrogen over the others, they would commonly recommend 30-10-10, but I use a well-balanced, equal balanced fertilizer, which is 20-20-20, pretty much on all my plants, and that's what I've been using on here, and I really haven't had any problems. Now, as far as humidity, you guys, this is, keep in mind, this is a coffee plant, but it is also still a tropical plant where it's bestly grown or mainly grown in like the African regions, typically in like Ethiopia. But it does thrive off of humidity. The common humidity range for this plant, you guys, can be between 50 to 70%. But I have it sitting in my kitchen where it does get a little bit of boost of humidity there, but the average humidity in my home does range at 50%. And it tends to love it. And I haven't had any issues. So, you know, it can survive in, I guess, the average humidity in people's homes, I would assume. If I had to judge it by mine, would probably be in the 50% range. Maybe it's a little bit lower for you, but if it's like in the 40-45% range, I do believe that it will do fine, especially if you keep it in the kitchen where you're doing a lot of cooking and where it's putting that moisture in the air. Now, as far as pests, you guys, the most common pests that coffee plants can have, now I've looked up, I have not had any, and I hope that I don't, but the common pests that this plant can give you would be mealybugs, spider mites, and your aphids. So you want to be mindful to quickly inspect your plants and look for any tiny webs on your plants, or if you see any clumps of white powdery residue on your leaves. That is an indicator or a sign, you guys, that there may be some form of an infestation, and you want to jump on it immediately. So, of course, you want to pull out your insecticidal soap and, of course, use your neem oil solution. Now, of course, we can always do a preventative pest management if maybe every often I say, let's be realistic. You know, I don't want to say every time you water your plants, because that would be truly unrealistic. In today's world with everything else that we may have going on in our lives. But I would say at least maybe quarterly you want to inspect your plants. And it also depends too, guys, on how large your collection is. I have a pretty good size amount of plants, and I just don't have that time to be inspecting my plants like every time I water. That would be very unrealistic for me, and it wouldn't work in my schedule. So for me, what I do, I try my best to kind of like take a look at the leaves, under the leaves, over top of the leaves. You know, check out the soil and everything, just to make sure that there's nothing going on. And then also too, you do want to, especially when it's warm weather, I do have a lot of habit of spraying my plants outside and taking opportunity or taking advantage of the summertime. Now, of course, in the winter months, it's a little bit challenging where I'm doing a lot of my spraying probably in my sink with my sprayer. But you know, you just basically want to spray this plant down and treat it from time to time with neem oil solution, and that will pretty much prevent these kind of pests from forming or even creating onto your leaves or your plants and destroying your plants. Now let's get into some of the one common issue that I've noticed, at least when it comes to the coffee plant, is brown leaves. Now there could be two reasons why you may be having brown leaves. Now, if you're having brown tips or brown edges, that's more or less saying the plant is communicating to you guys that you need to bump up your humidity a little bit. It needs a little bit more humidity to get rid of the crispiness of the leaves. But it's all up to you. If you don't mind that, or if it's not that bad, then it can stay in, I guess, the environment that you have it in. Now, I do want to turn the plant around and show you this one side. And I don't even know if the camera's going to pick it up. You see, you hear that? Now that's crispy. Some of my leaves, like this leaf here, and some of my lower leaves, it's two issues why this could be going on. You see that? One is, okay, initially, when this plant was a little shorter, I had it sitting in my windowsill. Now it's grown tall enough where I can't really place it in the windowsill anymore. But when I had it there, believe that some of the leaves was getting some direct sunlight on it. And this is an indicator. This is what will happen to your leaves and I'm glad I pulled it off. This is what happens to your leaf when it gets too much sun to it. It will actually crisp it up and burn it. So if you see something like that on your coffee plant, it's just an indicator that you need to pull it back a little bit away from the window. Now, another issue too for the crispiness of the leaves too is that too far along with almost letting this plant dry out. This can also cause crispiness of the leaves. Now, the good thing about this plant in regards to watering, you guys, it does communicate very well. It doesn't do a dramatic droop, but it is a very noticeable droop. This plant will droop on you and let you know, hey, it's time for you to give me a good drink. And when you give it a drink, it will bounce back up. I don't recommend that you let the plant get to that point to tell you. So it's in your best bet to just probably water this plant when 1 inch of the soil is dry. And I think that this plant will be pretty much happy in your care. So right now, I have it kind of like sitting in like a little plant stand, and it's beside my window in my kitchen. So it's in a corner where it's getting that damp light, and it tends to love it. And I mean, look at it, you guys. It just really it's really tall. It has done a lot of growth for me, and in this growing season, and I really do love it. Another thing, last thing, you guys, that I wanted to share with you is I'm not 100% sure if I would be able to produce an actual coffee beans, because you want to keep in mind the berries do grow on the plant, and they're usually like red or whatever, and then it starts to, I guess, turn a different color before it starts to actually be able to be harvested for you to drink coffee, so to speak. Now, would I be able to actually do it indoors? I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that before you even get to that stage where it starts producing those berries, that these coffee plants do have to mature. So usually, typically, a lot of years. So you give it maybe on average, if I had to judge from my research and what I read up on this plant, between 4 to 5 years before you actually start benefiting from this plant, as far as if you are able to pull coffee. But I just wanted to pay homage to this plant, you guys. It's a very beautiful plant. It's a very underrated plant, I believe, in my opinion. I just love the leaves, It gives me almost like a ficus type of tree vibe. It's very green. I love the shape of the leaves. It's very shiny. And who can beat this growth? A lot of people don't talk that often about the coffee plant, but I think it's a very beautiful plant. And who could not love the plant? I gotta love the plant since I enjoy the beverage. So share with me down below, you guys. Let me know if you have any coffee plants in your collection and any care tips you could provide. What you've done in your environment to make this thing thrive. I would love to hear from you. And as always, guys, that's a wrap for this video. Keep in mind, if you love foliage as much as I do and you love listening to planty things, hit that subscribe button. Give me a big thumbs up or thumbs down. Whichever way you want to vote is all right with me. Enjoy your day wherever you are in the world. And until next time, guys, much love. You gotta admit, you guys, this plant is gorgeous. And it's cheap too. It's also affordable. So if you don't have one, I encourage you to go out there to the Home Depots and Lowe's and get yourself one. This is a common plant that they have almost in every store. See you later.